Morphling.
And he's going to be covered by Treant Protector as well, so should have a pretty decent laning stage against a Morphling. Pretty easy to pressure Morphling as a whole in the lane, because Necro, that's one of the nice things about him. If the enemy carry is like more of a defensive hero, like a last hit, you get your heal, it heals your tree. They're going to have Leech Seed as well. The amount of heal coming out of those two guys, it's going to be like an IO dual lane or something, practically.
All right, well, we're going to get headed into this game number 1 and see how this...
Possible to kill in that circumstance. He jumps down, does a Death Pulse, and yeah, there's no way you kill the Spectre at that point. Carl's got his boots of travel already. He's got 87 last hits right now, but the high net worth is actually Cuckoo. And that's because he's got freaking 6 kills right now.
He's making all the right moves, for sure. It's pretty crazy to think. Moose a little bit off the mark here, immediately frostbitten. Frank standing nearby. Looks like they're just going to give up moves.
I don't think they had a choice in the matter there.
I wasn't sure if they could try to purge off that frostbite, but
yeah, that's like the
that's
best
about all
they
they could do, right?
It's so much damage at that point. They could even Reaper Sight that guy if they wanted to, but they don't. They don't have to.
This is turning into kind of a stomp.
This
and
is.
I think like Thunder Predator needs to wait until they have some levels and items, but T1, man, they're just not letting it happen.
Well, they're letting it go, that's for sure, with the White Mon Crystal Maiden Ultimate. And again, that's how many kills for Cuckoo? 7-0-2 now?
He's almost godlike.
Yep, 7-0-2. Yep, and he's going to go for a really fast pipe, which is excellent. Damage block like that against magic resistance reducers is really effective because it's kind of like damage block versus having armor. So against Elder Titan, against Morphling, like a lot of their heroes, the fast pipe is going to be great for keeping everyone up.
MNZ trying to fight with 23 Savage, but popping the Fairy Fart. He's got to be
Carry
so careful.
Who can? What hero can like 1v1 a Morph? I feel like there really isn't one at this point in the game when Morph is level 9.
Big kill. Classically, Anti-Mage used to be good at it, but that's been a couple of years, I guess.
Because of the mana burn, and then you would get the burst damage with the mana void.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I feel like Aim would have to blink away these days. That's why Morph has a pretty high win rate. I think it's like 60%.
He does. Yeah, he's quite good. Necro makes a lot of sense on paper. I mean, most of it's like win the laning stage. And it's not uncommon for Morphling to be behind in farm compared to the enemy carry in the early game. But the issue is that like killing him later on after that laning stage is very difficult. He ends up always farming pretty darn well. And then his ability to like get kills in team fights without dying is just really high. So
all right, Kev.
He just catches up.
I got a quiz for you while we're in a little bit of a downtime here.
Is this about lore?
No, this is not lore. This is mechanics, which is your forte.
Okay.
Okay. If I'm Necrophos and Ursa presses Enrage, giving him damage reduction, does that reduce Heartstopper Aura?
That one I'm not sure. Probably, I would say the answer is yes, but I'm not confident.
It doesn't.
Okay.
HP removal is the only thing that goes entirely through damage reduction, but it does not go through magic resistance.
But that's because they changed it to magic damage recently, correct?
No, it's HP removal, but also magic damage.
Okay, hold that thought, boys. They have the roll in over onto 23 Savage with the silence. They pop the Dragon Form over on DK, the Earth Splitter. Can they do enough in time, though? It's not looking like they're going to be able to. This Crystal Man fall with the Overgrowth. They just turn right back around. Moose will be first to fall. Leosta's been left behind, and he's trying to just get those spells off. He will fall to 23 Savage.
I mean, they had 3 heroes sitting there a long time. They seemed quite confident that this kill was going to work, and then I'm looking at the fight, and Spectre's at half HP. This isn't looking good, guys. Ugh.
Imagine smoking into your own jungle to get kills on the enemies. It's where Thunder Predator has to play to get farmed. But it's funny to see that happening, because like, you don't get anything from that other than the kills. And just oppression.
I mean, I guess the only thing that's a positive side is, right, T1, they just use a lot of their big spells. So perhaps they can try to make something they still, I mean, with the DK being dead, not having the Dragon Form, you can't even go for objectives now. Is a huge problem.
The Blink on Legion and getting some kills with that, I think, is going to be the
saving grace.
The saving grace, yeah.
JZ, just wrong place, wrong time, my friend. He's trying to run. He uses the Fairy Fire, the Leech Seed, those just keeping them alive and taking away. MNZ waveforming out. Carl, he's a speedy Lina, though. They want this. They're chasing LSA, coming in hot. And 23 Savage and his crew will take him down.
You know,
how sure were you of that one, Kevin?
That one looked pretty good. He didn't morph, so I was like, oh, he's gonna die, like maybe. And then all of a sudden the Reaper Scythe came. I was like, yo, even if he morphed, he was still very dead.
Yeah.
But they kept doing the same thing basically. Spectre hung out nearby. He basically took that fight. He goes to small camp. They leech seed the creep. He gets healed up to full, and then like Elder Titan moves forward like, oh, let's go see what's going on. This is the tower we're supposed to pressure. It's like, oh shit, the whole team is still here, like right here in a dangerous place where nobody plays. But I feel like Thunder Predator doing that smoke originally into the Spectre in the jungle, I feel like very few teams do these like 3-man smokes on the enemy side of the map these days. Like nobody does it. It's just not that safe. Because the enemy team's always going to respond, and you might not even get the kill anyways.
Run, Moose! You do not want to deal with Carl. He is very terrifying. He's got the Aegis now as well.
He is still chasing.
Dude, he's got boots of travel. Like, I mean, this is... Normally, I would say this is good for Thunder Predator that they're spending, you know, this much time chasing after one hero. Laguna as he rolls out. Oh, Carl says, sit down.
He should have rolled earlier, but maybe he didn't see the Light Strike Array hit behind him or something.
Yeah,
I'm not
maybe.
Sure.
He was, what Carl was doing was kind of cool there, just waiting until the roll happened, so that way he would have enough time for the cast point of Laguna.
Yeah, because otherwise he might break vision.
He might break
at any
vision
point.
slightly, yeah,
exactly.
Good point.
Or that was the first opportunity. He was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. Yeah, one of my favorite things about T1 as a team is their ability to decide on like what resources are worth in terms of like whether they can take a fight or not. So they can smoke with 2 heroes that look like you just barely shouldn't be able to kill somebody, and then they do, or they'll like lose their carry for like an expended Ravage, and then they'll smoke with 4. It's like they take smokes that other teams would be very uncomfortable doing, because mathematically, in terms of the raw hero numbers, it looks bad, but they've calculated that it's okay given their strength, and it's just so cool to watch.
Dude, Zephyr just putting mind games into his opponents. Just a tree
running at them.
That's the worst feeling when you're behind when somebody does this. It gets in your head, and it just makes you start doubting what your opponents are doing at any point in time.
Dude, the worst was back when, you remember when you could have a regular Rune of Opportunity spawn at the beginning of the game?
Yep. And
then a Pudge or a Treant would get a haste rune.
And then they would run it.
And they just run it. You could literally do nothing. It just says MJZ here. Literally can do nothing as he runs from T1.
Pudge would run in and die. I've seen Pudge.
Oh, okay, they're going to try to go in for the duel. They might be able to... Oh, there's just so much healing. No, all right, Frank will get his first duel victory, but 23 Savage, is very angry at this, so he's going to have to pay for it with his life.
It just feels like Reaper's always ready to go, dude.
It really does, yeah. It's always guaranteed, too. He's godlike now, 9-0-2.
Yeah, 9-0-2, dude. Like a perfect game going on now for KK.
Good for him. So got mech as well as his pipe. Almost saved his friend, but alas.
It was I wasn't 100% sure on that duel if that was going to actually finish or not, because there's so much healing.
Good calculations. I mean, the armlet really helps. Like, it's just such efficient damage for such low cost. But Cuckoo's getting to the point where even if there was some like hypothetical nullifier that would come out, it's a little too expensive for Thunder Predator at the moment. But even if it did come out, Cuckoo has so many items that I think he's tanky even without the Ghost Shroud. Like, he's popping off. It's one of those Necro games where he's just going to be this unkillable beast. You have to leave him for last. There's no other option.
Unless you duel him before he casts his items, because that's the one advantage you have. He's got all these survivability things with pipe and mech, but if he can't press those buttons, that is a way to kill him.
I would be a little concerned about like the tree heals. Like, is it enough with the tree heal on top?
And he has a locket too, so as long as he hasn't been like living armoring towers, which might have been, well, I guess he was the guy that got dueled, so he couldn't living armor himself. But yeah, if you can living armor whoever gets dueled, that's going to do a lot to keep him alive.
It's huge.
Moose walking into the squad of T1, and that's +1 because 23 Savage decides he too would like to be a part.
I don't think he thought
he's teleporting back up to just defend. Wow, all right.
I don't think he thought that the whole team was there. He was like, oh, I'm going to cliff this tree. It's going to be really cool. And then it's just like, oh, there's 4 heroes. Okay.
I mean, it's a gang squad. It feels like right now, wherever you look, T1 is at least rolling 2, if not more, except for maybe the Spectre, right? Because Spectre usually has Haunt. She's got a way to get out, but Thunder Predator just getting really hemmed into their side of the map. They're just losing so much real estate. I feel like Carl's just been allowed to go wherever he wants, whenever he wants.
He does, yeah. He's been pretty low mana the whole time, but the regen's very nice for that. And he's going for a fast Lincoln's.
Whitemon, though. Crystal Maiden. Let's see. Oh, do they have the detection? They do. They drop the ward. They need to get this kill, and they can find it.
That was way too close for a 5.
I know, for Crystal Maiden.
Close for a CM. Yeah.
He almost got out.
MJZ, another 5, another Laguna to the face from Carl.
He also has not died a single time, so we might have 2 godlikes in this game.
He's only got 5 kills, though. I mean, come on.
We're getting there. It's a Lina. A few more Lagunas.
Yeah, this is a good Brigand's Blade game for Lina, for sure. It's not the best item on Spectre. I'd rather he has stats and stuff like that. Give him the raw damage.
Very good against Morphling. Always
That's a good point.
Carl's on the hunt. Love to get his hands. They go in with the step.
No mana for...
See, LSA comes in. They'll go grab themselves a duel on top of it. It is a BKB, so it buys a little bit of time. Wastes a bit, but Frank will fall for this. Overgrowth coming out. MNZ trying really hard to survive because he did just lose a teammate. They're jumping over onto Carl, but he's so tanky. They've got the Magnetize, a step back, Leo style. He's taking a lot of damage. MNZ falling over on the back line. Scythe comes through yet again. Down goes Leo style.
Thunder Predator is pressing all their buttons really effectively there, honestly. Like the duel on the Lina was good. He popped BKB in time. They silence the tree as he comes forward to prevent him from overgrowthing or leech seeding or whatever, but it just didn't matter. Their net worth is so far behind that they can't win these fights.
They can't win the fights when there's that many people involved, it seems. Like maybe, and we saw how difficult it was just going for the Crystal Maiden.
There's a replay once again. They start off on MNZ. There's the
something
duel.
really important. Just give me a second here. 3-2-2.
Oh, damn. It was, you're right.
We got 3-2-2. I just didn't want to interrupt.
That was really important. Thank you for interrupting.
Anyways.
No, that was solid. Once Cuckoo got there and drops the mech in the pipe, it was like very clear the fight was over. The pressure on Lina looked a little scary. I was looking for like an Earth Splitter or something like that. No more damage came. He's completely safe. 13k gold advantage now for T1.
It's kind of hard to get the Earth Splitter off. 2,000 net worth.
They're just constantly hunting. Moo's running for his life. MJZ has been left behind. He got a nice stomp off, but like they just can't be on the map, it feels. The second that they show, all of a sudden 23 Savages there with that shadow step, and the whole rest of the team was already in position.
Have you guys played a support versus X Spectre yet when you're losing by a lot? It feels real bad.
It's
sad. The least fun experience, which means it's probably very fun for the Spectre.
Yeah, I'm like walking towards a cliff ward to deward it, and like right before I'm about to place a sentry, he's on top of me, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So when you just write space.
For me, it's I'm Pudge. I'm going to go hook this one ranged creep in a line. Oh, I'm dead. I see.
Oh my god, they're just playing now. They're playing with their food. Frank got jumped upon.
That was a good idea. Just buys him like 5 seconds, actually. Get him to half HP. He can't blink duel now. Now their window to actually contest is gone. Now the Meliarax is dead. So that was genuinely worth it.
Yeah, they've identified that like the only way back into this game for Thunder is a good blink duel on the right target. And so canceling that blink, very, very important.
How do you find, like, I don't even know. Who do you duel on the side of T1 right now?
I think you can duel Carl. Like, once the Aegis is down, you can duel Carl. Like, Lina's just such a low armor hero.
She's got Lincoln, so.
She's got a Lincoln Sphere. All right,
we have to break Lincolns. Let's see. Let's take a look here.
We got DK. We got DK. Necro. I don't think Necro will die in a duel with like everything cast.
He's so tanky. How do you kill this guy?
You would need all 5 to hit him at the same time. And he's got the Guardian Greaves aura too. So even if he got low, that would kick in and give him a ton of armor and regen.
And Zephyr is gonna probably grab Overgrowth. He's got Holy Locket. Yeah. Like if he gets those, it's nice to have the double heal in some ways there.
This feels so bad too. They already picked themselves up a Geometry site because they realize how in control they are of this game, that they can just take that risk and just move around the map and take down literally all of the vision of Thunder Predator.
Yeah, this is where things get rough. They're gonna have to do like little 3- and 4-man movements like Thunder Predator's doing towards a creep wave that's pushed on the map. But look, the Haunt's gonna scout them all in the meantime. Morphling gonna TP out. He does get out, but it reveals where everybody else is on the map. And Carl's already
hunting, man.
He's going to let him know he's here with the Dragon Slave. Leo style gets spotted.
They can't do anything as they pop the BKB and just slowly run him down. Another Laguna kill here for Carl.
That was so much damage.
23 was just holding on to it that whole time too. They were just waiting until Leo style like walked out of range where he could maybe potentially blink and fog, and then he used the.
This guy's net worth is 16.3k right now. Look at this.
That's actually insane, yeah. His mana would be like, he'd have like 200, 300 mana, and he'd still like TP to a lane just to Dragon Slave at one time. Just moving around constantly, like getting things done, pushing lanes, and that means that his team doesn't have to do that, and they can just focus on like playing aggressively in the right spots and hunting.
Hunting like he's hunting right now. Look at this.
I think he was just here to jungle, but then he just saw Moose, so he's like, oh.
No, I think that's exactly what ended up happening. I think Moose is trying desperately to make some space because, you know, Thunder Predator, they're a team that they're not strangers to playing from behind, but this game right now, honestly, feels kind of impossible. 17k net worth lead going to side of T1, and they're just being so effective in the way that they're choking them out. You can't go anywhere, especially with the Spectre build when you have the Shadow Step. If you show it all, you're just dead.
I like that Moose is going for these.
God, MNZ.
Oh,
Carl's coming. Carl has a Shadow Blade.
He might just solo kill him.
Oh, he's gonna boil this water, that's for sure. Another kill for Carl. He is indeed godlike.
I'm pretty sure MNZ was microing his illusions at the time that Carl broke smoke. Or broke his Shadow Blade.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Which he just picked up, by the way, so I think that's why he was doing that. He wasn't expecting the Lina to have a Shadow Blade. Because he had Lincoln's BKB for a while, right?
He's got a. It's funny because he's got actually a lot of like defensive items, the BKB and the Lincolns, but
and yet
does so much damage.
Yeah, that it just speaks to how strong the hero is. I think.
Please don't nerf my girl, though. I love her.
She's been getting nerfs for like 6 months now. It feels like.
Yeah, maybe
but
not.
It's mostly to like support Nino, but still.
Right.
And that's still how I'm playing her. I'm too old for the mid lane, guys. I can't do mid Lina.
I haven't seen Shard Spectre in a while. Interesting.
There's just oh yeah, that's the dispersion dagger, right? Yeah, supposedly that's very good according to Suns fan.
It's well.
Okay, all right.
I was like, all right, which of the 100 pro players did he hear this from at TI?
Another Laguna kill here for Carl.
Oh, it's on cooldown. Oh wow, that's actually quite good. It just does it every 7 seconds. You just get a dagger.
Yep.
If you take damage.
Yep. It's good.
23 Savage is just crawling into their base. They're like, what do we do? There's a ghost in the house, guys. We need the Ghostbusters, please.
Yeah. And this ghost is putting spectral daggers on everything in sight. Walking over buildings, which doesn't make any sense.
Crystal Maiden has a Blink Dagger and a Glimmer Cape at 27 minutes.
Can ghosts read minds?
Hold that thought. Frank is going to be into a world of hurt. He's still alive, though. Oh, beautiful Earth Splitter coming through. Can they get enough? They just can't. Wipe on walls. Frank will fall Leo style. Next, and MJZ, they're just rolling over them. Still have the Aegis online.
Dude, they executed that fight
and they're going
so
right for those tier 4s.
They did it so good. They got him really low. He rolls in, he silences the tree in the CM. They got him an inch away from dying, but he ends up surviving, gets the heals off, and they're just too far behind.
Moxie, click to MNZ right now real quick, see what he's up to. Oh, he's jungling. I see. I like that they're playing until the very end. They're just like enjoying their time at TI now, just like basically playing like it's a pub, right? Playing it to the very end. Because like this is the best thing he can do is like farm. If his team miraculously holds, then he could come back with more net worth and do something. I mean, that's what you would do, right? You're not going to defend there.
You can. You're just going to add the stats. You're going to pad stats at that point if that's the situation. So, you know, Thunder Predator, it was rough. It was...
But, like, they got to be really careful diving. I like the draft. I'm not so sure about the Nature's Prophet. That one looks a little bit more interesting to me, but it's going to allow them to up their tempo a lot. Like, when Timbersaw gets aggressive and ahead, Nature's Prophet's going to facilitate all these like tier 1 towers.
30% damage amplification, and you're hitting Bristle from the side, and he has 30% damage
reduction from the side.
It's zero. It's zero. It's not like 30% of the 70%.
Interesting. Huh.
It's just flat. Damage reduction and damage amplification stack. I think they could legitimately go high ground with these heroes. That's something.
Yeah, that's true.
And MNZ just showing his back. Carl is here. Top course forward, toss up into the air. They'll burst down moves. Luminate landing through, not quite enough to get the kill over onto White One.
Bristol's got a lot of zombies.
They want to leave. They can't quite go and hit that tombstone as T1 showing up and trying to just defend. They don't want to let that tower fall just yet.
I guess that's why they committed the wards. If they didn't do that on the top side of the map.
Carl, Leo Style getting pretty bloodthirsty here. Has to be careful. Doesn't have the rest of his team nearby.
It's good he makes those plays, though. Force your opponents to react a little bit. But they commit the wards, they kill the tier 1 tower quick, and that buys them time to get across the map and actually defend their tier 2. So not terrible for them. But Lycan's still... I mean, he's still got net worth. That's Lycan, right? But they force his ulti again. MNZ going to put some more pressure on. Almost got Ags. 1,200 gold for him.
Moose. They have no idea just yet. Leo Style being held into place. They'll go in.
Nice double stun.
Get the stun off. Get the kill on Zephyr. 23 Savage now morphing himself into his own Timbersaw. We'll back out. So they've effectively taken control of the dire triangle here.
Yep. This forces 23 Savage to cross the map, use mana to get there faster. But there's a regen. Good for him.
Carl is farming up a storm during all of this, though.
Yeah.
I like that he got involved, but it's T1's heroes all have really late timing. So the fact that they're not losing horribly at this point, I think they're probably pretty comfortable with this, genuinely. Because think about Morphling. It's like he gets an Ethereal or a Manta or something, then he fights. Lycan, same thing. He gets the Dom 2, and then he fights. Even Tiny, oftentimes, like, Echo Saber into Shadow Blade, and then you fight. Still, Carl's being active because he realizes he's the only person that can do it.
Yeah.
But all of these heroes, once they have one item, you can see that Cuckoo just picked up a smoke. They're going to go ham.
I really like that Carl used Tumbler Toy so effectively in that fight. Like, that was... Nyx thought there was, like, a little gap there. He's like, oh, come on, go ahead, use your spells. But all of a sudden, it's just mini blink forward, and that was enough to get that Avatos and pick him off. That's really what opened up that fight for
I
T1.
hate that it's called Tumbler Toy. I always want to call it Hobby Horse because that's what it looks like.
Oh, Zephyr and Whitemon once again aggressively jungling using their strong skills. That's going to be play the Serpent
Play
once
onto Cuckoo. And they have Shape Form. Grum, they need just a little bit more damage, so it's going to be absolutely fine. And like you said, they're just being exceptionally effective here on both these supports.
All right, that's Ags on the way for Bristleback. So they kill the stacked Ancient Camp. Frank continues defending this to make sure that his opponents don't get any offset, basically, to get their own Tier 2 towers. And now I wouldn't be surprised to see Thunder Predator play the other side of the map. Now that they've got that, they can invade, take the Shrine, and control their jungle if they
Oh,
want.
Frank, he's completed the Orc, and he's got
Gets
his
him.
hands right over on 23 Savage. Those trees are just cut down, and it's kill for Leo style.
That was full Agimorph, by the way. Great catch with the Orchid.
Yeah, he just didn't expect that. How close is 23 to his Manta? I feel like that's a very... Oh, he's not even going for a Manta.
Nah.
I see.
He's
Okay.
got some delay.
If he had the Ghost, maybe he survives there. It's hard to say, but still,
I don't
like
know.
that's like a small window where you can kill a Morphling with an Orchid. I mean, usually like the Orchid is to kill the Morph once, and then you're killing the supports with it. But like that's great if you can do that. I love what
White Man keeps doing.
Yeah,
like
it's really cool.
It's very effective because you've got all of these creeps in the area. He's able to...
How did that work?
What?
He didn't pull the wave. He just used Soul Rip on it. Didn't pull the wave.
Oh, the creep wave he tried to pull.
Yeah, that was weird. Does Soul Rip not give vision? I mean, it would have to not, right?
Did he cast Soul Rip directly on the creeps? Is
Yes,
what you're saying?
yeah.
And they didn't aggro to him.
They
like
didn't
he
aggro
wanted.
to him. No.
I see.
So it must not give vision.
Maybe he casted it from too far away.
That is
Why
odd.
is...
Because it's important that he grabs the wave there, because then it means it's like delaying the game.
And he
No,
pulls,
no,
he
I
pulls
just-
it in the tombstone as well. It would have been really efficient.
yeah, I'd be mad if I was Whitemon. He's like, I'm doing this cool
Moose
play.
just walks right past that right here.
T1 is...
I love this game is like maniac levels of like aggression and just...
Yeah, this is cat and
I
mouse
love this.
to the
This is
max.
so fun.
This is interesting.
They're like flipping map sides. basically.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like especially with the supports because they're doing such different things that normally we don't see in these games.
I think if
Like-
you're Thunder Predator, what you do in this position is you just go Roche, and then you run at their building so that T1 can't keep doing this. I feel like that's your play, and you can Roche with Bristleback, right? Which they are doing. They're positioning more top now. They're getting that tier 2, which is the Roche tier 2.
I mean, they can definitely rush with them. We've got Ags, so that's 7 stacks in Nasal Goo. But they took the Shrine first. They're going to take this tier 2, and then there's basically no TP points for T1.
Yep, free Roche.
God, I can't tell you how many times that Purge will be playing with like me and my friends in a pub and he's like, guys, what are you doing? You should be in the top lane. We're winning the game. He just yells at us.
I probably did say it like that.
Yeah, you yell at us a lot.
Well, they better.
Well, we won. It doesn't matter. Middle lane. They've already lost Frank. He's one of the first one in, but they'll be able to find a kill over onto Whitemon. They're trying to get the kill onto 23 Savage, and they're not going to be able to. He's already teleported out. But Thunder Predator making sure that they defend this middle tower. They don't want to give up ground. And Zephyr's just casually farming over here.
This is like a masterclass in what to do when you're losing, because T1 has been losing this game, at least like in the early game. And you know, there's an argument, yeah, maybe they're supposed to, but they're being so annoying. Like, look at this guy's jungling on Shadow Shaman. But this is the camp that's not going to be farmed by Thunder Predator because they're so far ahead. So why not be the one that takes it? If he dies, who cares? He's a Shadow Shaman.
I was thinking, I assumed that he was going to like TP back or something instead of, and frankly, his position's not terrible. If he just jungles and like Serpent Warrant's mid or something, that would be okay as well, eventually. just cheese the tower out, because for now, Thunder Predator is still going to regain map control and keep pressure on the tier 2, which is certainly going to die this time. 260 health. Whitemon's here. They've got Shadow Blade on Tiny. Let's see if they can get a pick
They're
off.
going to try to jump on Frank. MNC, though, nearby is so fast.
They do have
Look
a
at the stacks of Warpath.
Okay.
Go, they'll get the D ward off, and they're just running away over on the side of T1. They don't want to have to deal with MNC just yet. They want to go and protect this upper tower.
All right, so do they Roche here?
You could take mid and then go Roche, right? Surely?
Yeah. I think
You've got the wave.
I think the reason T1 was going to defend that tier 2 is not necessarily that the tier 2 is important. They're going to lose it anyway.
He wants that courier, yo.
Oh, courier. Yeah, they know that Roche is the next objective and that they need to fight soon.
Right.
So they're just like prepping to see if there's any good pick-off that they can get. Like if they can blow up, Nature's Prophet or Caudle at the start of the fight, for example, then it's like it's a good fight, and then you get Roche. And I think if Thunder Predator doesn't get the Roche timing, they can lose the game very easily.
All right. Granite Golem running down MJZ. Like an ulti for this, by the way. He's trying to kill the Keeper of the Light, but gonna be a little hard.
Dude, all I'm
Frank's being
hearing
hunted too.
is,
He's definitely being hunted,
nasal
but-
goo in my ears all the time. This hero is just permanent. Just make it an aura, okay? Gaben, if you're watching, make it an aura.
He went Boots of Travel on Bristleback, by the way. This is very
He's so
atypical, but
fast.
like it raises his base move speed so much, which makes him ridiculously fast with Warpath. So he's like going to be his own Ags hasted lycanthrope, basically. Maybe a werepig, we could call it.
It's not really a pig, though. It's more like porcupine. Piggypine? Werepiggypine?
I like that.
Carl,
Ooh,
they get the impale off, but they need more. They need to be able to cancel the teleport, and they don't have it. This is continuously a problem now for Thunder Predators. They could find these picks, and T1, they understand. They know they don't have any other way to cancel it out.
My God, Whitemon and Zephyr are just being hilarious this game. Like, what the?
Is he about to like drop Tomb to like cut the creep wave or something?
I think so. I think he's going to drop it on the high ground, and he's quelling for vision. Maybe he was thinking of doing that. Okay, he's not even going for it, because he doesn't see where they are.
I mean, he knows. Like, it's a
Maybe he's
timer.
looking for couriers, too. That's also a possibility, because they do have to go over to Secret Shop and then make that actual delivery. Oh, look at the scan. Hi, Cuckoo.
They're going after Carl instead. That'd be a good pick. Then get it.
Going after Carl. Got a lot of damage, and yes, they will find the kill. Bottom lane. Let's see that Frank just trying to offset all of these creeps and whatnot.
My boys got a Roche, dude. They got a Roche soon.
I'm pulling the creep wave top
Yeah.
as well. He's doing it. Double camp and a creep wave. This is actually such a cool way to affect the map in a positive way when like nothing's happening as Undyne. Because Undyne is literally a team fight support. And if you're not team fighting, it feels real bad. But this looks cool and useful.
Even like a little bit of damage on the creep wave like that, and then making it like wait for the next one is important.
Plan here, Thunder
They're
Predator.
roshing now.
Get the pit.
Good.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good. Because they have good roshing heroes. I like the idea for MNC to go for Sanj and then like a Heart or something like that, because that will let them actually go high ground versus this lineup. And it's like whatever T1's doing, all of this cool shenanigans that they're doing, which I do think is very interesting and super high skill.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter if you're getting high ground. It just isn't, because Bristle can just sit there and face tank with the Sanj and a Heart.
Look at this, like, this damage. Oh my gosh.
They finally get a moment to go for D-warding. Whitemon only is able to get one sentry. Spots the follow-up observer ward on the cliff, but
Yeah, look at this. Leo Style already would love to get his hands on Whitemon, and he just pops him.
God.
Frank is here. They get the D ward on top of that.
Instantly lose the map control.
I mean, it's such a difference from game number 1, right, where they got that early gem, were able to rip down everything.
Yeah.
Because T1 was just so far ahead. And this time, Thunder Predator, I like this. They're playing their style of Dota, and I think that's what they needed to do the entire time, is just play ultra aggressive. I think that was one of their strengths, actually, during the Animajor, was a lot of teams, I think, didn't actually do their homework. And so they showed up, and they're like, okay, what are these guys going to do? And they showed them, like, we fight nonstop.
Yeah, this definitely, to me, is like the flair that I was looking for when looking at Thunder Predator, as like that dark horse like pub team that maybe is like less polished, but they have their heroes where it's like, okay, maybe they're less polished, but you're not going to be either. Like, who the hell knows how to deal with the Bristle
Well, it was like
carry.
it's very similar in my mind too to like when OG was just running like crazy stuff that they figured out, because I'm a firm believer in that the people that set the meta are the people who are going to win.
What do they say? History is defined by the winners, the victors,
Yep.
something like that.
By the victors, yeah.
It sounds.
But that's
way
a little bit different than what I'm saying, because that's just like we won. We're writing our own history.
Well, I mean, like the meta is set by the people that pick the creative things, then people copy it. But there's like a lot of other creative things that could be picked.
Yeah, they're basically forcing their opponents to play a style that the traditional team doesn't play because it's not seen as good, but
Yes.
it forces you into a play style that you're not necessarily used to. It seems like T1's doing a great job. They're reacting to it as good as they can because their net worth has been close for a long time. Now it's blown up a little bit. 6K advantage to Thunder Predator.
Frank is just trying to play with them here. Kept like starting to teleport, backed off. But MNZ, he's really hunting. He knows that they can just teleport on out. Whitemon does have the TP if necessary. They're not going to be able to do as much. Oh, unless they follow it up with an impale. All right.
Decent time to start the high ground. The next creep wave will get cut by Zephyr. He's ready for this one.
These guys have been an absolute menace.
He's gonna like pull it
That's
to the large
actually
camp,
so
drop
funny.
wards. I knew it. It's the
They
same
fortify.
Shit, they do.
Moose. He's like, oh my god, Zephyr, you're
They
so
know.
annoying.
They know. He knows. He knows. He sees it.
Look at the jukes. Look at him running around in circles like, nope. But do
No.
they have it? No, they don't. Zephyr makes it out.
Nicely done.
Very nicely done. The high ground push has begun, though. Leo Style jumping over into the back lines. He's sitting a little bit low. He's got the Timber Chain. They've got the BKB over onto Carl. Can they finish him off? They have plenty of damage. So Leo Style will be the first one to fall. MNZ now just trying to stay alive. Does have the Aegis online. It's a good hold, though. Moose jumping over onto the back lines. Cuckoo running for his life again. They're still just putting out the clicks. 23 Savage sitting a tiny bit low. Whitemon just showing up to get tossed in over at Thunder. Get in there, Whitemon. You crazy son of a...
All right, they just need to reset here. They did lose the Timber, but that was it. Still Aegis for another minute and a half. He's going to buy a salve and everything. He's trying to cross the map. He wants to get back into this fight, and for good reason. They still have some gold advantage here. They got the tower low. That's what opened a lot of things, but ultimately it was Zephyr, actually, that did that. He pulls the creep wave, drops wards, glyphs it. With that sentry they had earlier, he saw the Nyx coming. That's why he was running so sporadically, and when he got him under the sentry, the Hex TP was a great escape. And that meant that when we looked back, top Thunder Predator was taking the racks by
Whitemon
themselves.
and Zephyr here. The silence over to Zephyr. Whitemon should be able to teleport out yet again. They'll be able to finally get rid of Zephyr. They've had enough of his shenanigans. And I think, like you said, maybe they just reset. Maybe they go right back, and they are trying to teleport over to that creep
Bristle.
wave. But double damage. Look how much damage this big boy's got going on. Just runs up to top. I can't click on him, apparently, because he's going too gosh darn fast.
That's quick. Mid to top. Creep wave mid isn't being cut either, so it looks like they're just going to be able to get the barracks.
They've got a Bloodthorn completed, too. You know, they're trying everything. Wrath of Nature gets tossed out. Whitemon, he's dropped the Tombstone. Silence being placed over onto Undying. He's going to go. Back lines, though, they'll find the pickoffs on MJZ and Moose. MNZ needing to be careful here. They've got that Spirit Vessel. And Carl just chomping away. Still have the Aegis for about 15 seconds. They need to be very, very careful here that they time this exactly right. They turn back around. They get a buyback. Is there a buyback? I'm not sure, actually. The chase is on over onto Frank. He's going to just fall. Leo Style trying to fight, but Fury of T1 is here, and they will punish them.
All right,
That
real
wasn't a buyback,
solid.
right? What did I hear?
There's a lot of weird noises in this game.
There's like 5 dogs running around.
I heard
a
something.
dragon.
No, there was no buyback. Okay.
Still a great fight for T1, though. They lose their melee barracks, but that's it for winning a fight. Aegis gets burned away. But MNZ hasn't been killed yet, so he's just going to keep collecting items here. And ACU is definitely going to make a big difference, because that was really what lowered his health. I mean, he's only got 10+2 armor right now, so a Wear Earth Elemental just does way too much physical damage. Got him low, and then everybody had to run. If he can turn and actually choose to right-click people occasionally, that's where Bristle carries feels really dangerous.
just running in here, running after Faye, charging after Carl. Does have to be careful, though. They do have the shackles. They've got this extra damage. Dizzy, toss up into the air. MNZ, they finally slay him. Frank over onto the back lines. What's he going to kill over onto Zephyr? Is he going to be able to? Zephyr still alive and kicking. Frank goes down. There's the Illuminate, finally cleaning up on the Shadow Shaman. 23 Savage turning himself into his own nature's prophet. He's got his own fury that he is bringing to the table now.
Now things are really scary because they have like 2 different ways to kill Bristol. It's like heavy physical and this magic burst with the Ethereal Blade. So
This is like
just way too crazy to try to defend the tower at that point when Tiny is like actually 5-shotting your tower.
I think Silver Edge is coming out too for Carl, so it's gonna get even harder for Thunder Predator.
Yeah.
This is the timing
And
that
Paladin
T1 has been waiting for. And I honestly, like, you know, Carl and 23 have been looking real sick in these fights, but I do not care about anything that they're doing at this point because it's only set up by the fact that Zephyr and Whitemon have single-handedly, or I guess duo-handedly, kept them in the game up until this point.
Wouldn't it be quadra-handedly?
Yeah, I guess
They
so.
both have 2 hands?
I guess so.
I assume they have 2 hands. They both play
Depends
Dota,
on how
right?
many hands they need
I mean,
to hold.
they could have secret hands.
What if they're both holding the game with one hand?
What
then
if
it's-
one's holding the... Yeah, what if they... Yeah. We're just getting ridiculous now.
Yes.
One person's playing the keyboard of the other, but they're playing the mouse of the...
Yes, of course. I mean, I imagine they could do with the synergy this game. They could
I
probably do
mean,
that.
yeah, they're clearly just a dynamic duo.
Cuckoo trying to front line, look around where the enemies are, give his team some cover here. But Thunder Predator hanging out near the Roche pit for now.
Cuckoo's just ulting snipe couriers. Very nice.
He ultied like 20 seconds ago, actually.
Yeah, I know,
Just
well,
saw like one here, and he's like, well, I got to do this.
Yeah. Kind of low cooldown. Lowish cooldown.
Yeah. Net worth's even, though. So game's looking scary for Thunder Predator as the game continues. Morphling gets more and more ahead. He's got Satanic finish. He's a third of the way towards Scotty. But they spot Cuckoo on the map. Oh, there's no disable, though.
Where's the disable? Where's the Yules? Where's something?
Yeah, no
It's
Yules
not
on
there.
Leo. He went for Axe instead, hoping for more damage, I think, was his plan. But it is very common to have Yules. But against, like, a Shaman, it doesn't work that great.
No.
He's just going to disable you, so it's not like you can Yules yourself. It's like they're very reliant on Nyx's stuns in those really dangerous moments to save your ally.
And to be fair, Moose has been excellent with them half the time. He's getting at least 2 people if he's got multiple people in the area. But it's a problem. There's been so many times that I think they could have gotten more kills had they had one more disable.
Yeah, they just TP out.
And they can't. And T1 is exploiting this. They understand.
I honestly
MNZ,
think, like,
the rest of the team is very far away. This is a little spooky here as they're just running down this mid lane. Moose standing nearby. Avalanche, Hex, 4-step forward with the Glimmer. They have the Dust. Over on the back here, we've got double Chakram being thrown out by Leo Style to get the kill on MJZ. Zephyr taking a lot of damage from MNZ.
Trading supports.
They are indeed. The BKB duration is about to go off here on Carl. Leo Style is gone pretty far, does have that Timber Chain though. Oh, 23 Savage going for something very similar on that tree. And MNZ joining back in. Leo's not looking so healthy here. They'll find the kill on the Timber. And now MNZ needs to be so incredibly careful. Turns back around, just keeps trying to get all the stacks, kiting them left and right. Silence being placed over onto 23 Savage. They'll drop the Serpent Wards. Frank is just getting clicked down. MNZ still a tanky boy. Somehow Frank's going to make it out alive. Zephyr goes down. Eventually they grab Frank.
MJC just body blocking MNZ there, I think. A little bit on the retreat, but they were able to keep him alive with the great stuns from Moose. He was hitting super hard. He's getting Spell Lifesteal with Eternal Shroud here. I'm a little unsure about this build, though, I gotta say. I generally don't like Spell Lifesteal on Bristleback if they've got break tools, because then it's like, yeah, you're getting some lifesteal from Quill Spray, but you're not getting that like Mega Quill when they really commit.
It's true. That's where most of your quills actually end up coming from, if you look on Bristleback. Not the casted quills.
Look at this.
In the late game.
Just constantly running. They do have the vision over onto Moose. Immediately, Spike Carapace followed up with the Impale. 23 Savage finding the opening. Immediately getting these clicks off. They're going to start putting the damage over onto MNZ. Nice blinding light will push them back into the Illuminate.
Great gem pickup.
Are they going into Roche here?
Oh, they're like faking it for...
Yeah, they're going to go. They're going to fight in this pit.
That doesn't look like a fake.
No, that's real. That's a real.
That is indeed MNZ throwing out the goo. Gets hit with the Ethereal Blade. Throws in a bit more. They've dropped the Tombstone in there. Look at this damage. Like everybody over on the side. 23 Savage going to the other side. MNZ, he's not looking great. Another blinding light. Avalanche, do they have the detection though? They're chasing after him. They're not going to be able to quite finish off MNZ as the rest of the team is coming in. Carl, he's being held into place despite that BKB. Those trees holding him over to the side. Frank, they've already taken down Leo Style. The chase is on from 23 Savage, looking to grab anyone else.
That could have been a lot worse. It looked real dangerous for Thunder Predator there, but Frank's just been kind of dying a lot. He does have to go in and cast his spells, but that's the issue. He's got to save his allies, and Bristle was so close to dying.
From buyback now coming out from Frank. They need to fight this. They're going for Timber Chain. Didn't quite connect, but the Chakrum's doing a lot of damage in the middle of the pit. It's going to be MNZ who gets that Aegis of the Immortal. 23 Savage, he's fighting. There's too many heroes here. He's not going to be able to make it out. He will fall. 79 seconds does have buyback.
Now across the map, they get a free shard as well on Bristleback, so Hairball coming. Now he's going to be really happy about the Eternal Shroud. Picks up quill stack damage, and Bristle's just going to get scary from here on out. Not that close to 25, so no extra spell lifesteal warpath damage, but his right click at the moment, it's at least going to force a buyback from Morphling, right?
I mean, I don't know. I would assume so, but Carl, a couple of these crunches here. The toss back over. Okay, that is the Aegis. MJZ is just immediately nibbled down. Buyback now coming out. They're just phasing up Evans. He popped up once again, already slain. Leo style. Oh, they're just so bloodthirsty on T1. They say, get out of here. That was supposed to be our Aegis. It's a triple kill now for Carl.
He's got a Moon Shard on Tiny. That's basically it. He's level 24. Nothing really that special.
I did not expect that much damage. Yeah. He one-shot Coddle.
You know what it is that Bristle had no armor items, basically. Like, he actually had no armor items. He had a Vanguard in the backpack, I think, and he's never bought a plate mail. He doesn't have an AC. So as soon as he gets broken, he's actually pretty vulnerable. He skipped health talent at 15 as well, so he's just a squishier than usual Bristle. He got Spirit Vessel. The Force Staff got him some distance, but he just ate all that damage there. And then when he respawns, he's disabled, getting hit from the front. Pretty much same situation twice. That momentum just absolutely hit the rock wall.
Yeah, that is rough. I mean, I thought Thunder Predator with that Aegis, I was convinced like whoever took that was going to win the game. Because the fights, as they progressed, it looked like MNZ was doing more and more damage. He was slowly kiting them out. If he hit anybody, he'd one-shot them, right? But, I mean, I didn't expect Carl to be able to kill him from full to zero twice.
The other thing is he spent some of his recent money on the Halberd, right? He had the Sange, he goes for the Halberd. The disarm is good against Morphling. It's tiny, it's okay. But he doesn't get to disarm. The first Silver Edge hit's going to automatically hit, right? So that's guaranteed hit. And they only hit him like 3 or 4 times to kill him. So it's like, is this 20% evasion really going to pay off? Not compared to a plate mail. That's the first thing he bought.
Now he gets a plate mail, yeah.
He needed it so bad.
It's to me, it's looking late for that. I think T1 has just such a better late game lineup. You know, Morphling alone could possibly outcarry this game, and then there's still a Tiny with a Lycan Wolf Bite on top of that.
Usually when I cast team fights, like I have a general idea of like being able what to follow. Everything happens so incredibly fast with T1. Like they just knew exactly every push, like every button, everything. Like that was so cool actually as a commentator trying to follow all of that because it just felt like muscle memory. Like they know each other so well. They know exactly how they want to do it.
The call too,
super cool.
It's hard to make to go on a Bristle with Aegis. I mean, how do you expect that to
Zephyr
work
just
out?
drops.
He doesn't have a mobility item.
He just drops it.
I like that.
Lens BKB, and he's like, if I just get a Hex on this guy, it's a pick-off. It'd be a huge one.
He was using it for vision.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's dope. That's dope.
There's a fairly large creep wave, though, here on the top lane.
There's backdooring the tier 2 bottom through backdoor.
Naturally.
Just easy with these.
Yeah, they did that over in the mid lane earlier.
I mean, it's like the best Vlad's game, I gotta say. Tiny and Morphling, this draft is real cool from T1.
Yeah.
Look at how fast this tower goes on. Chakram will be able to clear it out. And usually, you know, this is a difficult thing, right? Because you've got a Timbersaw and you've got I almost said a Kundalini. You've got a Coddle on your team. So this should be hard for them to break to the uppercut. But when you don't care about backdoor, too.
Yeah, that's
a
real issue.
This is a wild game.
Yeah.
He got the Chakram slow talent in Timber. I told everybody it was 9 before. That was wrong. It's 4% extra.
Still a lot.
So it's 9 when it's completed.
Yeah.
But he's got 2 Chakrams, so that means that every 5% health missing, he's getting 9% slow with 2 different Chakrams. So like you get him down to like 75% health, and they can't move anymore unless you have 2 people that are permanently hasted. Then it's fine.
Look at this movement.
Of course, naturally.
Yeah.
They went for the smoke play to get into the jungle, but now T1 also smoked up, looking for any sort of pickoff that they can get, that they can secure. You see the shapeshift, they get the little bit of the nibble going on. Leo style immediately. Hex moves going to follow up though, trying to make sure that Zephyr can't put out the sticks, but over in the back line, Leo style is sitting so low, he's going to pop. He's the first one dead. MNZ now trapped among all of this nastiness, is going to be next to fall. And oh, I'm sorry, Moose is now just, you know, scuttlebutting away over here.
It's time to start doing some.
Oh, what? Hello, Frank?
Cheese. Oh,
Frank?
I thought that's what you were talking about.
Frank? Look at the damage though!
I mean, it's Cheese. Jenkins, can you relate to this playstyle at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god.
He should pick up a Boots of Travel and a Desolator, and his job is now to throne and even potentially make T1 want to quit out of the game. That is your that is the Nature's Prophet strat from this point.
Ooh,
that was like 2 nibbles. 2 nibbles on MJZ. He's very lucky that he made it out.
The fights just look really difficult for Thunder Predator to play now because they're already like invis running at them at full speed, but they're going to have to buy back now.
They got to come back, yeah. They got to buy back from the Timber, buy back from Bristle. The squad is here. Moose taking so much damage. He is just dead. There is no buyback over on Frank. T1, they've had enough of these nonsense games. They want to they don't even bother really clicking them as they're focusing down over on the Ancient. The GG gets called. Thunder Predator, they put up a hell of a fight in the beginning. But in the end, T1 just too powerful.
That was a really fun game to watch, I gotta say. From like a how you're supposed to play Dota standpoint, just watching how T1